Deep in the heart of Central Africa lies a wilderness so vast, so ancient, and so unforgiving that even science still struggles to explain what hides inside it. The Congo is a place where rivers conceal impossible life. Forests swallow evidence, and the land itself guards secrets that refuse to die. From legends rooted in cultural memory to real-world horrors tied to modern technology, each one reveals a deeper layer of mystery. These are 30 of Congo's darkest secrets, and as the numbers fall, the truth only gets darker. Let's begin the descent. Number 30, the deep-water predator of the Congo. During his 1981 expedition to the Lake swamps at a remote location in the dense rainforests of Congo, biologist Dr. Roy McCall documented accounts of the Mahumba, or Mahamba, a giant aquatic predator described as an immense prehistoric reptile. Unlike Nile crocodiles, which grow to a maximum of 6 meters, witnesses claimed Mahumba reaches a staggering 15 meters, 50 feet. In 1983, Congolese zoologist Marceline Agnagna recorded testimonies of fishermen finding reinforced wooden hulls with deep, wide gashes matching no known animal. Skeptics suggest optical illusions, but paleontologist Dr. Bernard Heuvelmans hypothesized it could be a relic population of Sarcosuchus imperator, a giant Cretaceous crocodilian. Scientists cannot explain these massive recurring physical traces. Number 29. The toxic cobalt depths. In 2018, a clinical study published in The Lancet Global Health analyzed the geochemical impact of artisanal cobalt mining in Katanga, DRC, a region supplying over 70% of the world's cobalt. Led by Dr. Benoit Nemery, researchers discovered that children living near these hand-carved pits had cobalt concentrations in their urine up to 24 times higher than control groups. Furthermore, paternal exposure to this raw ore increases the risk of birth defects like spina bifida by 200%. Author Siddharth Kara, in his 2023 investigation, documented miners breathing radioactive uranium-laced dust. Scientists cannot explain how the human body survives such immense cumulative chemical toxicity on a daily basis. Number 28. The river's blind abyss. In 2016, a landmark evolutionary study led by Dr. Melanie Stiasny from the American Museum of Natural History revealed a major biological anomaly in the lower Congo River. At measured depths exceeding 220 meters, 720 feet, officially making it Earth's deepest river, scientists discovered a bizarre cichlid species, Teleogramma obamaorum. These fish are completely blind, depigmented, and suffer from severe decompression sickness, the bends, when brought to the surface due to extreme underwater pressure and violent subterranean rapids. Stiasny noted that the river's unique hydrodynamics act as physical barriers, forcing fish to evolve in isolated, pocketed abysses. Scientists cannot explain how these fragile creatures survive such turbulent, high-pressure currents. Number 27. The fire that runs. On May 22, 2021, Mount Nyiragongo erupted with catastrophic speed, sending rivers of fire racing toward Goma at 60 miles per hour, 100 kilometers per hour, destroying over 1,000 homes. Volcanologists from the Goma Volcano Observatory analyzed the lava's chemistry, revealing it is a rare substance called foidite. Containing less than 40% silica, its viscosity is uniquely thin, flowing almost like water. Furthermore, local wildlife fled the slopes 48 hours before any seismic precursors were recorded. Scientists still cannot explain why Nyiragongo erupts with so little tectonic warning. The geological mechanisms behind its hyperfluid magma chamber and its sudden, unpredictable behavior remain a lethal mystery. Number 20-6. The Phantom Bay Owl of Itombwe. In 1951, mineralogist Alexandra Prigogine collected a single mysterious owl specimen in the high-altitude bamboo forests of the Itombwe Mountains in eastern DRC. Named Phodilus prigoginae, the Congo Bay owl, this bird vanished from scientific records for 45 years. In May 1996, conservationist Dr. Thomas Butinsky finally captured a second specimen confirming its survival. Taxonomists are highly baffled. Its only close relatives are the Asian bay owls, separated by over 8,000 kilometers of ocean. Biologists cannot explain how this single, highly isolated African population evolved in absolute geographical segregation, calling it an evolutionary island trapped inside the Albertine Rift. Number 25. The Titan Magnetic Anomaly. In 1953, aeromagnetic surveys over the northern Congo Basin margins revealed a massive, unexplained crustal magnetic deflection known as the Bangui Magnetic Anomaly. Spanning over 1 million square kilometers, it is Earth's largest and most intense continental magnetic anomaly. In 1982, geophysicist Dr. Robert D. Regan analyzed MagSat satellite data, proving the anomaly alters the regional magnetic field by over 1,000 nanoteslas. Theories suggest a giant, heavy, iron-rich Precambrian meteorite impact or a massive, deep crustal magmatic intrusion. Geophysicist Dr. Patrick Taylor stated, "Its exact structural cause remains a deep-seated mystery." Scientists cannot explain what titanic geological object lies buried beneath the rainforest. Number 24. The Great Undersea Avalanche. In January 2020, an oceanographic expedition led by marine geologist Dr. Valir Gali of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution recorded a colossal event in the Congo submarine canyon. Triggered by heavy seasonal flooding, a massive underwater mudslide, a turbidity current, began flowing into the South Atlantic Ocean, off the western coast of Congo. This undersea avalanche traveled continuously for 2 days, reaching speeds of 8 meters per second and cutting deep-sea internet cables along its 1,100-kilometer path. Oceanographers calculated that this single event transported more organic carbon than most rivers carry in a year. Scientists cannot explain how these hyper-dense, self-sustaining currents maintain such violent momentum without dissipating. Number 23. The Bonobo Evolutionary Divergence. Around 1.8 million years ago, the formation of the Congo River permanently divided an ancestral ape population at a remote location in the dense rainforests of Congo. To the north, chimpanzees evolved. To the south, bonobos emerged. In 2012, evolutionary anthropologist Dr. Brian Hare published genomic data showing that while chimpanzees share 99.6% of their DNA with bonobos, their social structures are radically different. Chimpanzees formed violent, male-dominated patriarchal societies. Conversely, bonobos developed hyper-peaceful, female-led matriarchies that use sociosexual behavior to completely avoid conflict. Evolutionary biologists cannot explain why identical genetics exposed to similar environments on opposite riverbanks triggered such diametrically opposed behavioral paths. Number 22. The Katanga giant reptile. In 1959, highly decorated Belgian helicopter pilot Colonel Remy van Lierde was flying over the dense forests of Katanga province when he encountered a colossal brownish-green snake rising up toward his aircraft. Van Lierde estimated the snake's length to be 15 meters, 50 feet, with a head nearly 1 meter wide. The famous photograph he captured was later verified by experts at the Belgian Royal Institute of Natural Sciences, who confirmed the snake's proportions far exceeded the 7.5-meter maximum biological limit of any known African python. Zoologists still cannot explain the existence of such a giant, prehistoric-sized reptile surviving in modern times. Number 21. The ancient Embuti immunological divergence. In 2018, a landmark genomic study published in Current Biology by evolutionary geneticist Dr. Luis Barreiro analyzed the DNA of the Embuti people in the Ituri forest. The data revealed that their ancestors diverged from other modern humans over 60,000 years ago, surviving in absolute ecological isolation. Despite living in a hyperpathogenic environment teeming with malaria and filariasis, the Embuti developed unique genetic mutations in their immune pathways for inflammatory responses that exist in no other human population. Surprisingly, these life-saving mutations are genetically coupled with genes governing their signature short stature. Geneticists cannot explain how these highly complex, multifunctional, immunotolerant adaptations evolved while keeping their anatomy perfectly downsized. Number 20. The blind cave barbs of Mbanza Ngungu. In 1921, British-Belgian zoologist George Albert Boulanger described Cacobarbus geertzii, the Congo blind barb, discovered in absolute darkness in the vast limestone cave network beneath the town of Mbanza Ngungu. This threatened troglobiont is completely devoid of eyes and skin pigment. Surprisingly, it has an average lifespan of 15 years, nearly 5 times longer than sighted surface-dwelling barbs of similar size. Evolutionary biologists studying its genome cannot explain how its metabolism slowed so dramatically to survive extreme food deprivation, or how its sensory lateral line evolved to navigate violent subterranean currents. Dr. Bullinger wrote, "It represents a complete regression of vision that defies standard adaptation speed." Number 19. The Great Coltan Magnet. Deep within the mineral-rich mountains of North Kivu Province sits a massive geochemical mystery, a geological belt containing over 60% of the world's coltan, columbite tantalite. Formed over 1 billion years ago during the Kibaran orogeny, these deposits possess an unprecedented concentration of pure tantalum. In 2013, mineralogist Dr. Karen Hudson Edwards analyzed the regional pegmatite veins, proving they were enriched by localized high-temperature hydrothermal fluids. However, scientists cannot explain why this single, small African rift region received such a disproportionately immense share of Earth's heavy metals, stating, "The cosmic sorting mechanism that concentrated these strategic ores remains geochemically unexplained." Number 18. The Decadal Canopy Browning. In May 2014, climatologist Dr. Liming Zhou published a landmark study in Nature documenting a widespread browning of the northern Congo Basin canopy. Analyzing satellite optical and microwave data spanning 13 years, Zhou's team recorded a continuous decline in forest greenness and canopy water content, aligning with a 15% reduction in regional rainfall since the 1970s. Surprisingly, unlike the Amazon, which experiences rapid, catastrophic tree dieback during droughts, the Congo canopy is slowly, systematically down-regulating its photosynthetic capacity. Climatologists cannot explain the internal biological buffering mechanisms that allow this massive, water-stressed rainforest to steadily restructure itself rather than collapsing completely. Number 17. The Lost River Siphon of Wajena. At Boyoma Falls, where the mighty Congo River surges over 7 cataracts, dumping 17,000 cubic meters of water per second through violent rapids, the Wajena people have anchored giant, hand-carved wooden scaffolding directly into holes drilled in the solid rock riverbed. They use these tripods to suspend massive conical fish traps in currents flowing at 9 meters per second, 30 feet per second. In 2015, hydrodynamic engineer Dr. Jean-Pierre Kabongo analyzed the site's physics, stating, "The sheer stress on these structures should cause immediate mechanical failure." Scientists cannot explain how these handmade structures survive decades of continuous hydraulic drag. Number 16. The Rwenzori Equatorial Meltdown. In 1906, explorer Luigi Amadeo, Duke of the Abruzzi, mapped the extensive glaciers of the snow-capped Rwenzori Mountains on the Congo-Uganda border. By 2006, climatologist Dr. Richard Taylor documented that these equatorial glaciers had shrunk by a staggering 90%. Crucially, the rate of melt is occurring significantly faster than global average temperature increases can account for. Scientists believe a localized, unmappable atmospheric loop, where warm, moisture-rich air rising from the Congo Basin interacts with high-altitude solar radiation, is actively cooking the glaciers from below. Meteorologists still cannot explain the exact microclimatic feedback loop driving this accelerated alpine destruction. Number 15. The Croisettes of the Upemba Swamp. In 1974, archaeologist Dr. Pierre de Marais excavated the Kisalian graves in the vast, swampy Upemba Depression of southern DRC. Dating to 700 CE, these ancient burials revealed an incredibly rich pre-colonial elite buried with thousands of copper artifacts, including cross-shaped croisettes used as currency. However, there are 0 copper deposits within 300 kilometers of this marshland. Chemical analysis in 2019 proved the copper originated from the distant Katangan copper belt, indicating an extensive, complex trade network operating long before European contact. Dr. de Marais wrote, "This early wealth totally shatters the myth of historical isolation in the deep Congo. Scientists still cannot explain how such a highly stratified, complex trade-based state successfully governed this impenetrable swamp." Number 14. The wolverine frog of the rapids. First described in 1900 by zoologist George Albert Bullinger, Trichobatrachus robustus, of the Congo Basin features a terrifying defense mechanism. In 2008, Harvard biologist Dr. David Blackburn published a study revealing that when threatened, this frog intentionally fractures the terminal bones of its own hind toes, forcing the sharpened, needle-like bone fragments straight through its own skin to act as retractable, cat-like claws. Furthermore, males grow hair-like skin strands that act as external gills, allowing them to remain submerged in fast-flowing rapids for days. Blackburn noted, "This self-mutilating skeletal weapon is unique in vertebrate biology. Scientists cannot explain how its bones regenerate so rapidly after deployment." Number 13. The river blacker than night. In October 2023, a pioneering biogeochemical study by Dr. Travis Drake and researchers from ETH Zurich revealed that the 1-kilometer-wide Rookie River is Earth's darkest Blackwater river. Flowing through pristine lowland rainforest, its water is so ink-black that visibility is zero. Chemical analysis proved the Rookie contains dissolved organic carbon, DOC concentrations 4 times higher than the main Congo River and 1.5 times higher than the Amazon's Rio Negro. This jungle tea is created as rain leaches organic compounds from decomposing vegetation on a completely sediment-free, flat forest floor. Scientists are stunned by its hyperdense carbon chemistry, which defies all normal tropical river models. Number 12. The geometrical ellipse of Lake Telly. Hidden at 1.3 degrees north, 17.1 degrees east, Lake Telly is a shallow freshwater lake displaying a near-perfect elliptical geometry measuring 5 by 6 kilometers. Surrounded by thousands of square kilometers of dense peat bog, its uncanny symmetry has baffled geomorphologists for decades. In 2009, geological core sampling in the Republic of the Congo investigated theories of a volcanic caldera or meteor impact origin. Surprisingly, researchers found zero shock metamorphism quartz, volcanic mineral deposits, or magnetic anomalies. Scientists cannot explain what geological mechanism carved a flawless mathematical circle in a completely flat, muddy alluvial basin, leaving its perfect geometric boundary an unsolved geological mystery. Number 11. The inverted swimmers of the Congo. In 2014, evolutionary biologist Dr. Lauren Chapman published a study analyzing Synodontis nigroventris, the upside-down catfish endemic to the calm backwaters and shaded tributaries of the Middle Congo River. This bizarre fish spends 100% of its adult life swimming completely upside down. Chapman's team discovered that the fish's pigmentation is entirely reversed. Unlike normal fish, its belly is dark-colored for counter-shading against the sky, while its back is light-colored. While this inverted posture allows them to efficiently breathe oxygen-rich water at the river's surface and scrape algae from the undersides of leaves, neurologists cannot explain the evolutionary rewiring of its vestibular system, which allows it to maintain perfect equilibrium while permanently inverted. Number 10. The Goliath tiger of the rapids. The lower Congo River is home to Hydrocynus goliath, the Goliath tigerfish. Growing up to 1.5 meters, 5 feet in length, and weighing over 50 kilograms, 110 pounds, this aquatic monster is equipped with 32 massive interlocking teeth identical in structure to those of a great white shark. In 2011, ichthyologist Dr. Sven Kullander documented that this apex predator can swim against high-velocity, turbulent currents exceeding 8 meters per second to ambush prey, including juvenile crocodiles. Biologists still cannot explain the extreme biomechanical power of its caudal muscles, which allow it to generate such immense hydrodynamic thrust in the river's deepest, most chaotic rapids. Number 9. The rib-anchored tongue of the giant pangolin. The giant pangolin, Smutsia gigantea, weighing up to 33 kilograms, is a solitary nocturnal insectivore native to the Congo Basin. In 2018, wildlife biologist Dr. Ichu Godwill conducted tracking studies showing a single pangolin can consume over 200,000 ants and termites per day. To do this, it utilizes a sticky, muscular tongue that is 70 centimeters long, longer than its actual head and body combined. Anatomists were shocked to discover that the tongue does not attach to its hyoid bone in the throat. Instead, it bypasses the mouth entirely and is anchored deep within its chest cavity near its pelvis and ribs. Scientists cannot explain the evolutionary pathway behind this bizarre throat-bypassing muscular structure. Number 8. the phantom swamps of the pygmy elephant. For decades, explorers in the marshy, flooded forests of northern Congo reported a distinct miniature species of elephant, the water elephant, Loxodonta pumilio, that lives an exclusively semi-aquatic lifestyle, swimming constantly. Described in 1906 by German zoologist Theodor Noack, this dwarf elephant reaches only 2 meters in height compared to the 3-meter African forest elephant. In 2003, geneticist Dr. Alfred Roca published a DNA analysis suggesting these miniature elephants are morphs of forest elephants. However, field biologists remain puzzled by their highly aggressive territorial temperament and unique webbed-like toe pads. Scientists cannot explain whether they represent an active, unrecognized subspecies adapting to the deep, muddy peat swamps. Number 7. The cryptic forest giraffe. In 1901, British Administrator Sir Harry Johnston shocked the zoological world by presenting the first physical evidence of the okapi, Okapia johnstoni, from the Ituri forest in Congo. Despite measuring over 2.5 meters long and weighing 300 kilograms, this bizarre zebra-striped mammal had eluded Western scientists for centuries. Evolutionary geneticists later confirmed the okapi is a living fossil, virtually unchanged for 7 million years, and is the only living relative of the giraffe. It utilizes a 30-centimeter blue prehensile tongue and silent infrasonic vocalizations below 20 Hz to communicate. Biologists still cannot explain how a mammal of this size remained entirely invisible to modern science in a heavily explored region. Number 6. The human-eyed lesala. In June 2007, conservationist John A. Hart photographed a strange captive pet in the village of Opala in the Chopo province of Congo. This led to a 2012 landmark paper in PLOS One describing the lesula, Cercopithecus lomamiensis, a colorful monkey species endemic to the Lomami Basin. This was only the second new African monkey species discovered in 28 years. The lesula features a striking human-like face, cream-colored nose stripes, and a loud, resonant dawn chorus that sounds like a deep, rhythmic boom. Scientists are baffled by how an active, vocal, and visually distinct primate species survived undetected by modern global researchers in an unmapped canopy spanning 17,000 square kilometers. Number 5. The megawatt beetle of the canopy. In the high canopy of the Congo Basin rainforest lives Goliathus goliatus, the Goliath beetle. Measuring up to 11 centimeters, 4.3 inches in length and weighing over 100 grams in its larval stage, it is one of Earth's heaviest insects. In 1995, entomologist Dr. Heinrich Mendelssohn studied their flight biophysics, revealing that these massive beetles utilize an anomalous active thermoregulation mechanism. Unlike typical cold-blooded insects, they must actively vibrate their thoracic muscles to warm their internal bodies to over 30 degrees Celsius before taking flight. Physicists cannot explain how their microscopic tracheal oxygen transport systems scale up to sustain such extreme, energy-intensive metabolic rates. Number 4. The poison-eating glove flower. In 1959, Belgian botanist Paul Duvigneau documented a bizarre biological anomaly in the Katanga province, Haumaniastrum katangense, a delicate purple-flowered mint plant that thrives exclusively in soils containing over 10,000 parts per million ppm of toxic copper and cobalt. For all other local flora, this chemical concentration is 100% lethal. This copper flower acts as a hyperaccumulator, extracting toxic heavy metals and packing them inside its cellular vacuoles at concentrations representing 1% of its total dry weight. Ecologist Dr. Robert Brooks analyzed the plant in 1977, stating, "Its survival mechanism defies the fundamental laws of standard plant physiology." Scientists cannot explain how its enzymes process these toxic metals without completely destroying its own internal cellular DNA. Number 3. The isolated peacock enigma. In 1936, American ornithologist Dr. James Chapin shocked the scientific community by discovering Afropavo congensis, the Congo peacock in Congo. This was a massive zoological enigma. All other true peacocks are strictly native to Asia, separated from the Congo by 8,000 kilometers of ocean and desert. A 2005 genetic study led by evolutionary biologist Dr. Rebecca Kimball revealed that the Congo peacock diverged from its Asian relatives over 20 million years ago during the Miocene epoch. Biogeographers remain completely unable to explain how this single, non-migratory Asian bird lineage crossed continents to become isolated in the Congo basin without leaving a single fossil trace behind, calling it an evolutionary puzzle that defies classical plate tectonics. Number 2. The fearless horned beast. In 1913, German explorer Freiherr von Steinzu-Lausnitz documented consistent tribal reports of the Emelantuka, a massive, low-slung armored creature in the Likuala swamps. In 1980, biologist Dr. Roy McCall led an expedition into the 50,000 square kilometer swamp basin, gathering 18 independent eyewitness testimonies. Witnesses described a beast over 5 meters long with a single ivory-like horn capable of killing forest elephants. Skeptics suggest misidentified black rhinos, but rhinos cannot survive in deep, muddy peat bogs. Scientists are baffled by how such a massive, highly aggressive, semi-aquatic creature could consistently be reported across generations without leaving a single fossil or specimen. Number 1. The diving fanged mouse deer. The water chevrotain, Hymascus aquaticus, is a small, primitive, hoofed mammal native to the densely vegetated riverbanks of the Congo basin. Armed with sharp, elongated canine tusks instead of horns, this bizarre creature possesses a unique survival strategy. When targeted by predators like the crowned eagle, it dives deep underwater and walks along the riverbed, holding its breath for up to 4 minutes. In 2007, evolutionary biologist Dr. Hans Thewissen published a skeletal study confirming that the water chevrotain's morphology and semi-aquatic diving behavior directly mirror those of Indohuus, the 48-million-year-old ancestor of modern whales. Biologists cannot explain how this primitive mammalian lineage remained virtually unchanged. Subscribe now and comment below. Which unexplained anomaly shocked you the most? Join us today to help solve the deep unknown.